Hello, hello, hello. I am here to do a typical, for me, September planner update. I was talking to Deirdre, I think, my friend Deirdre, I think, and, we were both mentioning how we both tend to get ready for new planners in September. But, I literally, from, I think up until, I don't know, probably, not that long ago, I have always been on academic calendars. I taught both of my children from kindergarten through 12th grade. I was in college until my oldest son was 18. I believe I was in college for like 11 years. So, I mean, I have been on an academic calendar forever. So, when it comes to September, I'm always like kind of geared up and ready for a new planner. Maybe I should just get an academic calendar and just roll with it, but I really love the Hobonichis that don't come that way. So, anyways, so today's just going to be an update on my planner situation. As you can see, I have downsized. So I have been, so all, not this year, so this is 2023. 2022 was Hobonichi Cousin, except for I had a brief foray again at September time into a disc bound, but that ended up going to the best. This is the best thing I ever did, was to put my For Love of Divination in here. I have stuff that I am studying, and right now it's got real sky astrology kind of stuff in there. I have pendulum boards. I have all my quick references. Like, I use this constantly. This is probably on my table more often even than my planner. So I don't regret this tipping into the half letter disc bound planner, because it took me to here, which I absolutely love. So no regrets there. But most of 2022 was in a Hobonichi Cousin, and so then in 2023 I went into a Hobonichi Cousin. But I have to say that I have been very hit or miss in my cousin, partially because I have been out of town more often, and I just don't end up taking it. And for a while I was into just use it for the week. This is erasable. It's a Rocket book. I could just have 2 weeks at a glance. I could have the month at a glance, race it, start again. I went through quite a chunk of time this way, just not putting any degree of, like, it was functioning for the purpose of what I needed it to function for, but it wasn't anything other than that. No decorations, no memory keeping, just functional, and it did what I needed to do. Like, that worked. This is the Rocketbook Fusion, which has a built-in again, 2 week spreads, as well as a monthly. Oh, echo stop. Sorry, my nails were drying. They are now dried, and we've already started. um, and then just has other things like that, and then I can just write in here and erase pages. I love my Rocketbook, and in a pinch when I'm just needing to grab something and figure things out, it works really well, and I use this for quite a bit this year. I don't like it though, in the sense that I really do love, being able to kind of look back through at least my weeklies. Like, I really enjoy being able to look back, have some degree of memory keeping. I do enjoy that. So I was really thinking about, what am I going to do? I hardly used I mean, literally hardly used any of the dailies this, and started using them more as a scratch pad. Um, but I hardly used any of the dailies. So I just have this section in the weeklies is really what I was functioning on. And so when I was thinking about what do I want to do for 2024, I'm like, I really think because I am grabbing and going and back and forthing a lot, and I really exist mostly in the week where I just have this column here, I don't know that I need this size, because I think what I find intimidating about this is I feel like I have to fill this all up, and then it's just too much space for me. So that's where I have been, between the, just functional and then erase it at the end of always just being 2 weeks ahead, being through this and then partially in this. It's kind of been a the most sloppy year of planning since I can even remember. I don't think I've ever had this sloppy. I'm a planner person, and it reflects, right? I don't do good with that type of sloppiness. Like, I do need my planner. So what I did is I picked up, so cousins are an A5 planner. Now, so I have done a whole year in a Hobonichi Weeks. Again, much more functional, just doing what it needs, but I did a whole year in the weeks. With the weeks, you just get this amount, and then you can kind of extend it over here, but you're still only getting sort of that strip. It's there, and then you can get it with extra paper, which I kind of, in some years I've used. I don't think this was the one that I did a whole year in, because I know I used more of the paper. This is back when I was doing my journey tokens, 2019. Anyways, I did do a whole year, and I've used the weeks in other capacities off and on. I also have used an original, which is what we're going to look at today. But I used this for 1 year. Let's see, what year is this? 2019 as well. But I used it to track my readings. I would take a picture, write anything up in it, and I actually quite liked the size for a reading tracker. I might get an undated one for something similar, but anyways, so this is an A5. Sorry, it's dusty. Obviously, this is just sitting in a shelf. So this is an A5 or an A6 versus the A5 of the cousin. So I picked up a Hobonichi original, but I picked up an Avec, so that, because obviously I don't need all of the year, I wanted to use it for the rest of this year before I decided which one I was going to use. So if you see, and then I picked up a Moterm, obviously, because I'm obsessed with Moterms. But if you can see in here, I actually have a weekly supplement. I have the Avec, which is half of a year. And then inside the Moterm things, I have 1, 2, and I have another one in here, 3 of the A6 little notebooks. And so far, I haven't had it super long. So far, I am loving this. This is a much more size to just throw in a bag and go for me. And I feel like it's the perfect size. So what I have going on here, and I didn't know they had these, and my friend Patrick pointed out that they do have a weekly, A6 weekly insert. Like, so this is for 2023. Obviously, I haven't been using it. One I just did totally functional. And then I was like, oh, I can actually decorate it a little bit. So yeah, I'll zoom in and do a little bit closer look at it. But so yeah, I have the pieces that I have is I have the 2023 weekly A6 insert, which I really love, and we'll compare that out to the cousin and talk about that in a second. I have the original, which we'll take a look at and see what's different. Basically, the main difference is that this does not have the weeks. It's why I've never planned on using this before as a planner, because it doesn't have the weekly, and I live in weekly planner organization. So it has the monthly and it has the daily, but it does not have the weekly. And again, I had no clue that they had this little weekly insert. So that was a game changer finding that out. And I have found this size to be about perfect for me. I don't feel overwhelmed in filling it up. I can put a little bit of decoration on there, and again, I don't feel like I have to fill it with decoration. I can, yeah, even when I, like, this was a day off and I didn't really have any work stuff that I needed to write out, but I was able to put in, you know, a card and a little write up here just for the card of a day. It's really been about the perfect size for me. It gives me more than, um, it gives me more space than just having this strip here, but not so much that it feels completely overwhelming. So, and then I just bought, you can buy packs of these. I use these in the A5 size, but you can get packs of just the Hobonichi papers, and I have 3 of them right now. This is for my business with readings and classes and videos. I have one for products that I'm working on, and I have another venture over there. So it can fit all 3 of those in there comfortably. Again, this is a VEC, so it's half a year, but I think if I continue to like the size, I would get the VEC again for next year so that I can fit all this in, throw it in my bag, and go. But let's zoom in. I'm going to talk about some of my still favorite things with planning, but let me just show you some of the pieces here, so that you can see compare them to the cousin that I know a lot of you are used to. So in the weekly, you do have a year at a glance for this is 2023. So you have a 2023 year at a glance, and then 3 months into 2024 instead of like a whole 2024. That's fine with me. Obviously, it's also going to be in the Avec, so that's not a big deal. I do like these. Like, I do kind of plan out my classes and workshops, so I do use these. So I am glad that is at least there. And then let me compare. So then you, of course, have the weekly, because this is just a week insert. So let me grab a blank week. So obviously this is much smaller, but what I like is that the grid is the same size. So I love that. I've been using the cousin for a really long time, and so I'm just used to the grid. The grid is the same. I get you get 3 primary, like with little check box. Here, let me move in. Sorry, I don't know why I'm not zoomed in here. You get the 3 little sort of, what are your primary things. I was always, I guess maybe it would be better to do here. This is my favorite kind of typical setup. I always keep 3 boxes for myself for reading, specific readings throughout the week. So those can go right there. You do get the sidebar. Obviously, it's not as big of a sidebar, but you do get the sidebar. You do get the month ahead that you get. The hours are different. You know, we have the hourly and the half hourly. So you have 2 2 rows per hour, whereas in this and the original you have 1 hour, 1 row per hour. So that took me a little bit to remember and get used to. I prefer having the half hour, but I also prefer having the chunk. So I have gotten used to it relatively quickly. And they only put it on this side and this side. They don't put it on every single column, which is nice because it's a narrower column. You don't want to have that eaten up by the time slot, and it's not that far away from it because it's small, so I haven't had any issue with that either. And then you do get actually a bar along the bottom, which you don't get here. This ends at 3 And then you, whereas this goes all the way down to 4 in the morning. But obviously, I never am doing scheduling anything at 4 in the morning, so that's not. But it just kind of ends, and you have this to do what you want with it. I have been mimicking, and this has worked well for me. Well, it's got to go this way. I have been mimicking how I like it. You can see the setup here is pretty much similar. I've got my 3 up here instead of down here. You can't see what I'm pointing at. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. This is like not well. There we go. I normally have my readings down here. I've just put those up in those 3 up here. I've got, which has been relatively useless space for me. I usually put in washi tape, which I still do because I'm not going to schedule before 6 or 7 in the morning. I don't schedule things. Very rarely will I schedule something that early. So I just go ahead and put that in. I have my main part of the day, and then at the end I put in my kind of to-do list broken down into home, errands, projects, work, D&D, things I'm waiting for, and my marbles, happy things, happy thoughts I collect from day to day. So those all go on the bottom, and it works really well. I've been mostly just been using this as a sort of to-do or an inbox, just to dump everything to do for the week until I decide where I'm going to put it, as most of my things are not time, a specific date specific, except for readings, and those are in pencil until I actually go in and plan out that particular time. So that has, I mean, it's really got everything that I need into it. Is it tighter? Yes. But I don't have to fit everything in because I have the daily over here, which we'll take a look at in a minute. So then obviously this is all the daily all the way through, actually until March, which I would get a new one in December. And just has a couple blank pages at the end. So that is the little weekly spring start. That's why it goes to March. I got a spring start just because I didn't need a whole bunch of this. None of this before here would have been relevant. But I will, if I stick with this setup, I will get a fresh one for 2024. So that's the little weekly insert. And what it compares to this has everything that I need in it there. So then when you look at a daily spread, here's our A5 cousin daily. Well, here, let's go back to the beginning. So this also has the 2023, 2022, 2024. It's the exact same in that capacity. It also, I'm kind of playing with what I want to do here. It also has this, of course, it just has it for from June, and then it goes into January because this is half a year. But it has that year planning for the 6 months that's in the book itself. So it has that. And then it goes into the monthly. I just went back and put some main things in there, but it has the monthly. It has the same border along the bottom, or side border along the bottom. I feel like they could have, well, no, they didn't, they couldn't use it up any more than that. Again, the grid's the same size. The boxes are just smaller. But this is what I primarily do. It's more for future planning and things like that. So it's plenty big enough for monthly stuff for me. So it has the monthlies like the cousin, and then it goes into the weeklies. Or I'm sorry, it does not go into the weeklies because you don't have, it has the turning the page, which I love because between the weeklies and the dailies, there's the turning of the page where I put the my wheel of the year stuff, and it has a little mini version of that as well, so that made me really happy. And then it goes into the dailies. It does have a page for before the month starts, which I also like because I can use that to either kind of make notes about the month or do your cards and runes and stuff like that of the month. So it has that as well, and then goes into the dailies. So it does not have the weeklies, which are covered obviously for me in the weekly insert. Setup wise, it's very similar. It has actually, I would say it's identical, except for that it has just the symbol for the day of the week. I have been writing it in because I do like to see that, but it has, and of course it's not written out. So we have July 7, the date, the 1st. We have, this is the symbol for who knows whatever. See, I wouldn't know right now. So that I do wish they had the name, the day of the week, but I've just been writing it in. So it has the symbol there. It has the same along the side going till 3, but again, just in hour segments from 6:54 in the morning till 4 at night. So it has that same as this, it's just hourly instead. That has worked out really well. It has the same main target things that you want to get done, which I really love. I use that. So that is there. And then it has, you know, this other side. I do really feel like, you know, on this case, could they get rid of this or make it much smaller? I would appreciate that because it's really wasting space on a small page. But, you know, it gives me decorating space, which I'll show you in a second. So it's really almost identical to what you have. It's just smaller. And again, I have found it to be perfectly fine. I've just been putting a thicker washi over the bottom. I like that you can see the Japanese through it. It's quite beautiful. I'm using this a little more on putting out the top part because I wouldn't use that. I don't, again, plan things that early just for major errands that I have to do, things that are blocked off time wise. And then I do kind of use it to show what I've actually done throughout the day, to-do lists, any notes that I want to keep track of, little memories. I've just been sticking a little sticker so that I know that. That's there, and yeah, it works perfectly fine for me. I've got my errands, I've got my readings, I've got my main things I want to do, got plenty of room for to do. I don't feel like if I don't use it too much, I don't feel like I have this huge page, empty page that I need to fill up. It's worked really well for me. And then, like I said, Sunday was a day off other than updating my laptop. And so I just pulled my card of the day and stuck it in there with from my Fomimo printer and wrote a little bit about it. And it's been the right amount. Like I haven't felt constrained. Um, I like that I can still do a little bit of decorating, but not feel like I have to again fill up a large space. So between, you know, that is these 2 days. And then this is for the week. So one little weekly, but then every 2 days I get to kind of play around and do, but I don't have to decorate every day. I don't know. I've been enjoying it. It's been just the right amount for me to use some stickers, but not so much that I feel like I have to fill up a lot of space because I don't have anything to put there. So I've been really happy with it. Obviously it goes through all of the days. And then there are like that stuff at the end, timetable, graph paper favorites, your top 100, you know, those types of things that you get in the cousin as well. So again, this is the Hobonichi Techo 2023 original in the A6, and you can get this in a full year, right? You can get the full year, or you can get it as an avec, which splits it in half. I just got it the avec because I was only going to use it for the rest of this year, so I didn't need the whole book in there. But I think I would again continue to get that for 2024 because it allows me to keep those extra little booklets in there, keep the extra weeks, you know, the week thing in here, which I have to have, like I love that. Fit 3 of these in here, and again, it's still on the second snap in my Moterm, and everything fits in there good. So I think I will continue that if I continue with that size. So that is where I'm at the moment. Let me zoom back out here. Um, in terms of, and I've also liked the size for, I do my journaling stuff right here. And so when I'm like working on, you know, something to do with a class or whatever, I have plenty of room to have a notebook or even my Rocket book here. This is right here. All the stuff that I am always playing around with is here. I do really love the size for the space that I'm generally writing in. So I'm actually really pleased with it, if you cannot tell already. In terms of my favorite things, those have not changed. Like, you've all seen these over the course of all last year, when I did every Sunday. I will say that the Fomimo printer has pretty much taken over from I do still like the Canon Ivy. This is the same old one. I haven't bought the new one. But it's so much thicker paper than this. You know, I don't mind sort of the black and white image, and it's a little bit thinner than the sticker paper stock of the Canon. But if I want something colored, then I have this and I will use it. But I love this for that, worked fine, but also for like quotes, like that's a quote from there. I feel like I had another. That was a quote from there. So like using quotes, and or just something I want to type up or I have and I want to print it off. So I do probably use this more now than I use this, just because I like the thinner sticker paper. And I guess I find myself doing more quotes than not. But when I want it in color, I use them both, but I will say I use that the most. I still swap in Tombos depending on the color. You know, I just try to find one for the color scheme. So this just kind of goes with the color scheme. And then I usually have two colors out, and I've always done that. But like for this week's color, I have it in pink. So I just have these pink and the green one out. I've used Tombos forever on Hobonichi paper, and I love it. So I guess continue to do that. I have exclusively been using the Mono Drawing Pen 01 because it is a much smaller space, but I was already doing that. I mostly use this. In fact, that's starting to drive me bonkers. I was already doing this. I mostly use this all year. I have other pens that I absolutely love, but because of the small space, the small fine point has just worked really well, and I can highlight over it. So many things, right? So many pens that I have to remember to put the Tombow down first before I write on top of it, because it will smear. And the Tombow Mono are the exception to that. Because I never remember to do it first. These are all written first, and then I put the Tombow over it, and it doesn't smear it at all. So I've mostly just been using this. Will I get tired of just the black and eventually change it? Possibly, but for right now, that's what I've been using for a pen. I've still been using those. I still absolutely love the Tombow Mono Sand and Rubber. You can get a little bit of ink off if you need to, and it's great for erasing regular pencil. Cannot be without this. I actually went through a time I gave mine away thinking I could just grab another one because I really like this bent for sticking stickers down. And I gave it away thinking I could find another one, and I couldn't. I found all these other like alternatives that I don't even have them out right now because I hated them so much. But they were like grippers so that, you know, it would just grip it itself. You wouldn't have to hold it. And they were terrible. I finally found a little pack with like different types of ends, and one of them was this, and snagged it. If you get a hold of one of these, don't give it away. Keep it. But if you're a sticker person, these are like must-haves. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love for Hobonichi paper. The Tombow Mono correction tape is the perfect color. You really can't hardly see it. I mean, if you've really crossed a lot of lines. You're going to see it because your grid is gone. Yeah, I mean, actually that may not be the Tombow. I ran out of this and had to use the other one, just like a regular one, but this is the perfect size and the perfect color. So the Tombow Mono correction tape original, I love for Hobonichi paper, especially the cousin in this. This is my favorite. I also lost this and couldn't thinking, oh, I could get it easily because it's at Michael's around me, but I finally found another one, perfect size, especially in this one. It's the perfect size, but I love this. And then these, which is also Tombow. Look, oh my goodness, I did not realize how much of a Tombow person I was. Tombow dots, Tombow Mono dots adhesive for sticking things. Like these don't always stay down really well. I've been using those quote stickers. Anything I want to stick that's not already sticky. I love and I've tried a couple different ones. I just like the Tombow stuff. Tombow, 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 Tombow. So I don't know. I guess I'm a Tombow fangirl. And then stickers. I do love stickers. On this, I already had some of these. I know I had this one. You can see I dumped coffee on it. Stickabilities Nature Pack. I just like these because they're little, right? I only have a small space, so I have some flower ones, some farmhouse ones, which are what these are from. Some wanderlust, but very mountains and things like that. And then these are just like nature ones, which go with just about everything I do. So I have, you know me, I have a ton of stickers, but I've been keeping these out because again, they're small stickers, and so they take up the space nicely. And then washi tape, I have, you know, buckets of washi tape. Although I will say I find I have a lot less of this thicker size. I even like this really thick size for down here, so I might have to, you know, keep an eye on adding more of that to my collection because I mostly have skinnier washi tape because of the way I used it more before. I liked this size mostly, which doesn't quite cover up the quotes down there. So, you know, always an excuse to get more washi tape, um, but yeah, these are like favorite things that I have used for a long time with my Hobonichi and continue to do so. Continue to absolutely love this. Oh, I've got crumbs on everything. I feel like I dumped something over there. This Angu, I just got it on Amazon. You can zip it down so it's much thinner, but I mostly keep it up because I can fit this into here as well. There's another one. Oh, that was the same one. I feel like I have another one somewhere too. So I continue to love this. This was a great purchase. I can throw everything in it and go. So yeah, I just wanted to do, I'm not going to say it's quick because who knows how long this has been, but I wanted to kind of show you where I was at. Again, it's still similar to my setup before, it's just tinier, but it's, you know, all together, I'm still in the weeks, still have access to my monthlies, still have access to a much more manageable dailies for me, and so I am really happy with the A6 right now. So we'll see. I'm gonna wait until closer to the end of the year. I know Hobonichi just had their, you know, you can purchase, like they just went live for 2024. I'm going to wait till closer to December to order what I'm going to order and make sure that I want to stay in the A6 and not go back to the A5. So I'll wait till closer before I order 2024. But so far it's been just right in terms of size. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. You know, how put in the comments, like, what have you been using for 2023? Has it been working for you? Are you going to do the same thing for 2024? Or are you going to try something new? Tarot people are papery people, I have found. And people are always looking for something to try or to check out. So put it in the comments what's been working and not working for you and what your plans are for the coming year. There we go. Fall update for planner.